What's up, YouTube? Robbie Vapes back again, and welcome to a very special video with 5 reviews in one video. So stay tuned. That is right, YouTube. Today we have 5 reviews in a single video. I'm going to attempt the impossible and try and keep this video as short as possible. What I have in front of me right now are 5 different products that were either sent to me or purchased by me that I wanted to do a review on and either never got the chance to, or for other reasons just decided not to put one out. So, what's this video about? Well, I'm going to go over the reasons why I chose not to put reviews out on certain products, and also my overall thoughts on these products. And they're not all bad, by the way. I just want to mention that. They're not all bad products by any stretch, you'll see. In fact, I'll start out with a very good product that I'm in love with right now, and it's this guy right over here. This is the Zpal Coral Mini Tank. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, anyone who watches the majority of my videos, especially Project F.O.G, knows I use this tank everywhere. I love it. It matches my shirt. It's awesome. The only reason why I haven't put a review out on this tank in general is because it's basically a smaller version of the original. The difference is the color, which, by the way, is badass. The second thing is they've actually fixed the drip tip in a way. I wouldn't say it's fixed, but it's actually now a traditional standard size drip tip. So you can interchange it with any of your other drip tips, which makes for a great vape. Especially, I've been using my Otis drip tip on it, as some of you may have seen if you follow me on Instagram. So there's my Otis drip tip. And I'm not trying to do self-promotion, by the way, guys. In fact, anyone who does follow me on Instagram, I am sorry because I never post. But the few times I do, you've seen that, so you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, going back to the Zpal Coral Tank, really quickly here, what did they change? Compatible with standard size drip tips is a big one for me. The second thing I've noticed is that the airflow ring is super easy to move around. I found the larger size one was a little bit stiffer. Now that could be me, the way I treat my tanks and everything. I'm a little bit rough on them, so it could just be that. But at the same time, I do find this one has stayed very loose. Not too loose, but loose enough where it's easy to manipulate throughout the time I've had it, and it's been a daily use for me. Apart from that, it fits the standard size coils that they provide, the Zpal Coral coils, and it also fits the TFE4 coils, of course, as well. So it's a great little tank, mini version, super awesome. But again, the only reason I didn't put a review out on this one is because I already have the original out, and I'm still debating on putting a full review out on this one with like an up close section and everything. But I'll let you guys decide what you want to see. So really quickly, that's the Zpal Coral Mini. I would give that one a 5 out of 5, obviously, because it's, I can't stop using it. Moving on to the next product, we have the Gceramic. These are by the makers of the G Clapton coils. As you guys know, I was actually a pretty big fan of those coils. They're definitely lower wattage coils, gold-plated and a little bit more unique. This one is kind of that same principle, but instead of using Clapton coils, they've adopted ceramic coils for some of the most popular tanks on the market. The tanks that these are compatible with include the Aspires, the Kangers. They have their own one as well for the Kangers, which is what I have right here, which I'll take a quick vape on in just a second to show you what it looks like. And they are supposed to be coming out with a crown ceramic coil, which could be pretty interesting. Now, why haven't I put a review on this? Well, to be honest, I have mixed feelings about it. And I've actually given these coils to a number of people to test for me, so it wasn't just my own personal experience on them. Now, what surprised me was the differences in opinion on them. It varied a lot. So I gave it to a few people. One of them is actually another reviewer. He may do a review on it as well. I'm not sure. He gave me a great in-depth email review, I guess, on these coils, what his thoughts were. And then a couple other people gave me their thoughts on them as well. And the opinions could not have been more different. For the one person, I'm not going to mention who was who, but one of them said, you know, it's a decent coil, but the flavor wasn't really the greatest, and vapor production was okay, but not where he wanted it to be. And the second thing was that it just wouldn't hit past 35 watts, which, in fairness, is actually what they recommend the wattage to be, between 20 to 35 watts for these ceramic coils. The good side to that, you save on battery. The bad side being a ceramic, it does take a little bit longer to ramp up a little bit. I do find these work really well for chain vaping, because as you keep vaping more and more, the coils get hotter and hotter and take less time to heat up. Obviously with ceramics, it does take a long time to heat up, but once they get heated up, if you keep chain vaping on it, it does provide a better vape. That's my experience, though. The second person, however, said that they were able to take theirs over 80 watts. And that is crazy. Personally, with this one, I have the Kanger one in here. I'm also using the Aspire one. And with both of those, the maximum I've been able to get with these coils, and this is with truly breaking them in as much as I possibly can, trying to take my time with them and working my way up very, very slowly, was around 45 to 50 watts. I couldn't get much higher than that, otherwise I got a bit of a burnt taste. No one likes burnt taste, obviously. So with that being said, I'm going to take a quick vape on the Kanger one, show you what it looks like. This is at like 23 watts. So here's what it looks like at 23 watts. Let me know what you think of the vape production for a 23 watt coil. Here we go. No burning, no dry hit there. Perfect vape. And again, it works really nicely on this little Cloudpower Mini Plus I have. I've been using this Cloudpower Mini Plus and this Kanger Nano tank for the longest time. In fact, I specifically bought the Kanger tank for the G Clapton coils I got, and I've been using it for the G Claptons and now the ceramics on and off pretty much on a fairly regular basis. But overall opinion on the Gceramic coils, it's mixed depending on who you ask. If you're asking me personally, I enjoyed them. I don't know. What would I give it out of 5? I guess I'd probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5. So a pretty good score overall, which isn't bad, especially for me, who's used to vaping much higher wattages. I found for a low wattage coil, it's actually pretty satisfying, especially in this Kanger Nano. I do like the Kanger Nano coils better than I'd like the Aspire ones. Just my personal opinion on them. And I am very curious to find out how the Crown coils will perform, and if they're going to be a low wattage coil, or if they might try and bump it up to try and compete with those Vapes and Ceramica coils. But that's my thoughts on those ones. Again, not bad coils, but reason why I didn't make the list on full reviews, just got backed up really badly, and reviewing a coil, I mean, I could take it apart and everything for you guys, so I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments. Should I take this one into a full review, or what do you think? Maybe wait until you hear the rest of them first, and then we'll get back to that one. Next up, we actually have some cotton. This is the Kendo vape cotton. I did kind of a mini review on this in one of my juice tasting videos. I think it was on the original GQ e-liquid review I did, that I did a kind of a mini review without trying to actually review it. I was going to do a full review on this one, but I've had a couple issues with it. I'll go over the specs really quickly here. Basically, super easy to wick, check. Heat resistant, check. Low taste retention, check. 2 times longer lasting, check. And superior absorption, just didn't do it. That was the one big thing. And I have this in one of my drippers right now. I should have brought it with me, but basically, it's almost to the point where it's unusable. Yes, it lasts a long time, but the absorption rate is really, really slow. It will take me, honestly, upwards of 5 to 10 minutes to get the juice absorbed once I drip on my cotton. And that, to me, was the biggest downside. It has no absorption at all from my perspective. Again, I've given this out to some other people. In fact, I'm sure one of them who won them in a previous giveaway on Fresh's live show can comment down below what his thoughts were. But mine were, again, just mostly about the absorption rate, and it's super slow. I did find the taste was pretty good, though, once it does absorb if you wait long enough. And as far as wicking goes, it is very easy to wick. I would probably even say it wicks faster and easier than cotton bacon, especially if you want to use a lot more cotton in between the coil. It is a lot smoother to get through as opposed to cotton bacon, which can sometimes bunch up. So again, it's almost there, but the absorption is what killed it for me. But if you guys want to see more of a full video on that, maybe see what it looks like when I'm trying to drip on it, let me know in the comments below. Next up, we have the Kanger Subvod kit. Now again, this is one I wanted to review for a couple reasons. This one I actually bought myself. This was not sent to me, this was not given to me, this was purchased by me with my own money. And basically, it's a pretty simple tank. You got almost like an iDust style battery on here. You got a spare glass in the top section right there. You have your USB cable, which just fell out. And then, of course, you have the tank itself, which is a Kanger top fill tank. So it does have top fill, which is nice. It's a decent little starter unit if you're looking to get into sub-ohming. I don't think this is a good starter kit if you're looking to just get into vaping in general. But if you already have some experience in vaping and you want to take it to the next level and go sub-ohm, this might be the best kit for you. The downside to this one is that it only includes the one coil that's already installed in the tank itself. It does not come with a spare coil, which I would have liked to have seen for me personally. And I guess this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys if I did a review on this. What would you guys rather have? Would you guys rather have the spare glass in there or a spare coil? And I ask you guys because I don't know what your opinions are, but for me personally, I don't really need spare glass for any of my tanks. I don't think I've broken a single tank yet, to be honest. So for me, spare glass is just starting to accumulate now, and I know they don't all fit on different tanks, but I just don't need any more glass at this point. So I guess let me know what your thoughts are. What would you rather see? Spare glass, spare coil, or maybe both? But then again, for the price point, these are like $40 each for this whole setup, which is actually a pretty good price, I have to admit. And that's Canadian, by the way. I think you can probably get them for like $15-20 US. I would assume somewhere in that range. And the tank alone is pretty much valued at that. And you're basically getting a free battery, free charge cable, which it's nice they included it, I will say that. But you know, most of us who have been vaping long enough have enough of those spare charge cables. And of course, you can, if you don't vape too much, you can just use an Android charger or something instead. So if you guys want to see a full review on the Kanger Subvod kit, let me know in the comments below. Last up, this is an interesting one. I saved the most interesting for last, but not necessarily the best for last. This is the Modvapa, and this is the Subtank MK2, and I have the reason why I didn't do the review on it right on top here, but basically this is a tank here. If you guys can see that, it actually looks pretty nice. You get a ton of extra stuff in the bottom as everything comes flying out. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, so you have a ton of extra stuff in the bottom here. It comes with spare coils, spare O-rings, all that good stuff. Drip tip is nice as well. I actually really like the drip tip on that, and it is a standard size drip tip, which is perfect. The downside, though, why didn't I do a review on this? So the upside, I'll start with that actually. The upside is it will take the Panda V12 coils. They are cross-compatible. The issue is one of the coils that was sent to me is this one right here. Hopefully I can get it to focus for you guys. I don't know if you can see that sticker in the top right corner of it, but if you can, it says NI 0.2, which is a nickel coil, which in itself sounds pretty good, except when you look on the actual coil and on their website. And I contacted them about this and said, please take this off. But if you look on the coil itself and their website, it does say nickel, but it also has a recommended wattage range for these, which is fucking stupid. You'd think they'd learn with the STL Wolf why you don't put recommended wattages on nickel coils, but they didn't. Then when I tried to question them on it, and I was pretty polite about it, I wasn't trying to be an asshole, I wasn't trying to be a dick about it. I just said, look, I like your coils, I like your tanks, but the average vapor who might be getting new into this, who might buy this tank, you should never put the recommended wattage on a nickel coil because it should never be used in wattage mode. So why would you have that? And when I questioned them, they said, well, it's okay. People will figure it out on their own, blah, blah, blah. We don't care, you know, and they're clearly labeled nickel. So if they don't know the difference, then they shouldn't be vaping kind of thing, which is just so fucking ignorant. So yes, this is my review on the Modvapa Subtank MK2. I gave the Panda a great review because I genuinely like those coils and I like the tank, but these ones in the Subtank MK2 are nickel coils with a recommended wattage on them. So that is why I did not do the review on the Subtank MK2. Moving on from there, we do have a second part to that one. We also have the Modvapa, I think it's called the ETC box. It's a 70-watt small box, pretty small. Just a little bit bigger than the Cloudform Mini Plus. And this is a 70-watt box mod. It does do temperature control as well, which is nice. And that was kind of the other excuse they gave me was that, well, our box is temp control, so they'll know. You know, if they get nickel coils, they'll know to use it in temp control mode because it's in the instructions of the box and all that stuff. And here's the thing. Do I like this device? I do. It's compact, it's 70 watts, it's temp control, and it's pretty affordable too. So why didn't I do a review on this one as well? Well, that's because of this tank right here. After I found out that the nickel coils had a recommended wattage on them, I refused to review anything else by them. Now that doesn't mean I'm saying that the Panda V12 is a terrible tank, because as you know, I liked it. But, and even further to that, that doesn't mean that I don't like this box mod either. I found it was a decent little box mod and it worked pretty well for me. I guess the only downside to it is this little battery screw here, the battery cap. If you've seen these before, they have them. They're usually not the best, but this one's actually super easy to get into. You can do it with just your fingers. It's that loose. The threading's really nice on it. You don't have to worry about getting caught up or anything. You really don't have to use a coin, but if you wanted to, you could. So again, that's a bit of a negative maybe for some people. For me, it actually worked pretty decently. The only thing I will say is I saw a couple reviews on this, and one of the guys mentioned that his is actually auto-firing, and it just will not stop doing it. So it was a defective one, it looks like. I don't know what they ever did for him to replace it or what they did for him as far as that goes. But anyways, it could auto-fire. There's at least one instance out there of one auto-firing on it. And I guess that's part of the reason, but the biggest reason for me is those 0.2 ohm nickel coils that they put in there that are just absolutely a no-no putting wattage on a nickel coil. So there you go, guys. If you want to see any reviews on anything I brought up today, in particular, and you want to see full reviews on them, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully I did justice for all these different products here. It was kind of interesting and fun doing all these things together and having them in one video. A lot less stressful, a lot less work, obviously, which I hate to say it, but I'm kind of lazy. But anyways, so that's what you got right here. You got the Modvapa stuff, you got the Kanger Subvod kit, you got the Gceramic Coils, the Kendo Vape Cotton, and the Zpal Coral Mini Tank, which, like I said before, the only reason I'm not doing a review on it, or at least not yet, is just because it's just very similar to the original size, just smaller, with a few different changes that actually help improve the quality of the device itself. But again, either way, if you have a regular size Zpal Coral tank and you're happy with it, you don't have to go out and get this one. Although if you want something, this might be a good place to start if you're interested in the higher wattage vaping. These are products I just got in the mail this week, and I am so excited to put a review out on these, but I am going to spend more time with them. In fact, I haven't even taken them out of the package yet, but these are the two new RTAs by Vape. If you remember Vape, they had the Druid RDA. These are their two RTAs, the Illyria and the Boreas, which the Boreas, I hope I'm saying that right, is a massive fucking tank. It is beautiful, and the build deck on it is going to be super easy. It's a 26 millimeter tank, so you have plenty of room to build on. The Illyria has the acrylic chimney in the middle, so you can see your builds while you're vaping on an RTA, which I think is an awesome idea, as long as you're not using too dark of an e-liquid. If you are, then obviously you're not going to see much, but if you're using a lighter e-liquid, you will see quite a bit with it, which I think is pretty cool. And both of these do have the Velocity style build decks as well, which kudos to Vape for doing that. So great job, guys. Anyways, that's coming up soon as well. I also have the Jarvis tank, which is designed by the real Vape J, and it's kind of his little baby there. And I'll do a review on that one very shortly as well. And finally, based on your recommendations in my last video, or I guess not the last video because I just recorded another video that will be posted before this one is. But anyways, in the giveaway announcement video, I asked you guys, should I review this Limitless mod? The overwhelming response was to say yes, but make sure you cover safety aspects. And there was a ton of different and very good ideas on how I can do that for the people who only watch the first 5 minutes of my videos. Just to make sure that everyone who sees it sees the safety aspects first and foremost. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I have all the stuff coming up. I have Project F.O.G tomorrow night, but by the time you see this, it'll probably be either already on, or it'll be over, or it'll be sometime in the future. I have no idea when this video is going to be out. I am putting out a juice review first on Ruby Rue's line of juice, which if you watch that one, then you saw that video. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. And of course, until next time, YouTube, happy vaping.